Hey guys, what's up? It's Tyler Kluver. This is the Snapped Podcast. So glad that you're joining me. On this podcast, we're going to talk about diet, exercise, mindset, training, sports, performance, and any of the things that we discuss, me or the guests that I bring on, is going to help you get better and help you get healthier in some way or another. We're glad you're here. Sit back, relax. Let's have it. What's up, y'all? Look at this. For those that watch the YouTube, which is nobody watches YouTube. Tyler Kluver on YouTube if you want to hear these episodes and be able to watch me sit at my desk and microphone at the same time. Not that exciting, but sometimes the facial expression, I don't know. Sometimes I watch podcasts. Episode 44 of the Snapped Podcast. Where I was going with that is if you are a watcher of the YouTubes, you can see that my mic is in a different position, trying something out. It's now below me instead of on top of me. I think that's going to be better. Not the topic of today's episode. I am going to have to redo this cord because that's annoying. But what are we going to talk about today? The Snap Podcast, all about health and fitness. As you heard in the intro, which I need to change, that intro is corny as hell. God, is that thing corny? I even stutter. On this podcast, you're going to listen to, Jesus. That was back when I think I threw it together quickly, but I need to do something that's better. Anyway, I don't want to waste your time. I did plenty of that last week with the DM to DSM race recap. I am fully recovered from the COVID, most likely the Delta variant. I am 60 to 70% recovered on taste, which is really, really exciting. Taste and smell. Very happy about that. The goal was to be fully recovered by my birthday, which is in, just under about 2.5 weeks, actually. Because I want to be able to taste that birthday dinner. My wife and I love to go to Johnny's Italian Steakhouse. If you're local to Iowa, you may know what that is. It's delicious. I think maybe it's in other places too. It probably is. Something that has come up with a couple clients and a couple of my people my wife know, and just conversations that we've had. And it's relevant to everybody. It's today's topic on the Snapped Podcast, and that is why exercise, is that even the right? I don't know. There's no fun little short title for this one, but it's basically the topic of when humans get stressed, and it's oftentimes due to work or family or other life circumstances, happenstances. We drop exercise and dietary habits as the first thing to go. What does that mean? When we are stressed, we subconsciously and naturally start to structure our day in ways that will get us out of that stressed state, right? So you're going through life. It's a normal work week. Everything's great. The next week rolls around. You've got several big meetings, right? Or a presentation or a report due, this, that, the other. I say all that shit like I know what people do in an office setting. I don't know. Something is stressful for your job, right? You have an increased workload. Call it a 25 or 30% increase in workload. It's significant, right? It's going to force you to do more work and take less breaks. And really just the name of the game is you have less room for error or leisure, not leisure, but you have less room for error, and you have to be working more efficiently. Topple that on with you have a family and one kid gets sick or two kids get sick, or your wife or husband is stressed out as well, or you have family in town and they're staying at your house. Any number of 100,000 different factors, right? For some reason, for a certain amount of time, you are stressed out. You have more on your plate to the point where, and we could do a whole nother podcast on being ready for when that happens and how to deal with it, which would prevent what I'm about to talk about. But let's say that during the time leading up to this overstress period, you're working out and you're following a good structured diet, whatever that may be, right? It could be as simple as like no processed foods, no fast food, or it could be as dialed in as something that's super specific to you from a nutritionist on the food side of things. And on the exercise side of things, it doesn't have to be 6 days a week. It doesn't have to be 2 days a week. It could be anything in between those two things or the extremes, but you're following a plan. And then the stress period hits, and many people who kind of ride the fence of consistency, and that's really what we're getting at here, is the consistency and dedication factors. Many people see an increase in workload, an increase in life stress. And so again, the subconscious human brain starts to work around that and try and change our days to make it so that we can level that out. And we do that by cutting out our exercise and altering our diet habits to make us happier. We shift food from whatever it was to us before, hopefully considered fuel or just part of your day. And now we shift it to be a positive, a stress reliever. We eat to be happy. We eat to de-stress, which is not where we want to be. And we combine that with, I think I'll take today off my workout. I won't work out today, but I'll be back there tomorrow. Or I'm going to take this week off of working out because it's a big stressful week at work, right? Why is that? The majority of people, I would say 80-20 at least, do not at its core enjoy working out. They do not like the feeling of being out of breath on a cardio machine, fatigued, muscles are sore, lactic acid, gasping for air, right? All of these physical outputs that will come from working out, right? Essentially, a lot of people don't like to physically work hard. Most people know and understand that physically working hard is good for you, but they don't like doing it, right? They're the opposite of me. I love going down into the gym and knowing that I'm going to do something that tests me physically. And when I feel that out of breath, I feel myself straining, I enjoy that feeling. But most people don't. A lot of you listening probably do, but maybe you don't. Maybe you're on the fence. Most people, again, switching over to the nutrition side of things, most people don't enjoy eating healthy, right? In fact, I'm in this camp for several foods, right? I don't like eating vegetables. There's a few that I tolerate, and I know what the outcomes of eating those vegetables do for my health. So I do them, but I don't enjoy them. They would not be my first pick. I'd eat fucking ice cream every day if it didn't do anything to me. So because it's not enjoyable, and because we then use food, again, food makes us happy, right? It's that quick taste response. It hits the brain. It's like crack. It's like, oh my God, it tastes so good. I'm happy. I'm eating this. I'm happy. It's fake. It's a faux feeling that your body is telling you for a very short while that food is in your mouth. And then seconds after you swallow it, excuse me, there's a yawn. Seconds after you swallow it, that taste and that pleasure and that hormonal response, that connection between taste and the brain, it goes away. And it's done nothing for your actual long-term solid state happiness, right? It's just short-term, oh, that was good in my mouth, right? So we start using food to feel happy for short-term, and we cut out the exercise because it gives us back an extra half hour to an hour a day, right? I'll give you that. It does give us back those 30 minutes to an hour. And it feels good to get that time back because, hey, maybe then you can use that for the work, or maybe the work grabbed an extra that amount of time. And now by skipping your workout or cutting your workout from the day, you get that back. And so now you've balanced out and you're right. Now you're level. At least you feel like you are. And the whole point of this podcast and me talking very slow and drawing this out into much longer than it needs to be is don't do that. Right? And here's why. One, if you are the kind of person that does that, you're going to bounce back and forth between consistency and inconsistency for the rest of your life because, and I tell this to every single client I have, life always happens. Life does not stop. And I'm not saying that you simply wake up every day and that's like that's life happening. No, I'm talking about there's going to be a birthday. One of your friends or kids or parents or acquaintances' birthdays, coworkers' birthdays is going to happen, right? And there's going to be a night out or a cake or dessert or out for drinks, right? That's going to happen. There's going to be holidays every single year. They're not taking Thanksgiving off the fucking calendar this year, right? Christmas is still there on the 25th of December. You're going to go and you're going to hang out with family and there's going to be big home cooked meals. You're going to have weeks or periods of the year or seasons for your job or career that happen to be more busy than other periods, right? And there's nothing you can do about that other than keep your head down, keep working, and staying consistent with everything else in your life. Okay. The key here is to recognize and make the connection physically and emotionally and mentally that the exercise you're doing on a consistent basis, it might not be a daily basis, but it's a consistent scheduled basis, and the diet protocol that you try and do well at, whatever that may be for you, everyone's different. Those efforts and the products of those efforts are good things that make your other 23 hours a day when you're not working out or eating, they make those other 22 to 23 hours a day exponentially better, right? So now the logic is, oh, I'll cut my workout and I'll eat shitty and that'll make me feel better. Wrong. And then as I've laid this out, you can clearly see why. Working out, even when you have an increased stress load or workload, eating clean, even when you want to eat shitty to make yourself feel good, those things will, in the end, maintain your energy levels, maintain your digestive process, maintain your quality of sleep. They will help maintain your stress levels. all the way down the list. They will make that increased workload easier for you because you worked out and because you're eating well. You feel good and you're now able to attack that increased workload. You're able to deal and adapt to whatever stress hits you in life better. But if you, those are the weapons against that. And just because this is essentially like, hey, you're walking, this is a poor analogy, but you're walking around all the time with a firearm and it's your protection. It is your weapon against having a bad day or against bad health, right? And on most days, you don't have to deal with it. You don't really have to use the weapon. But the weapon is actually what's giving you that good health, those good days. And when the bad day hits, in this analogy, when the bad guys come, you just put the weapon in the closet and you decide not to use it, right? That's not going to be very productive. That is what is going to get you back to having good days and feeling good on a daily basis. And in this analogy, yes, that equals murder, murdering the bad guys with your weapon. So the next time that you feel that subconscious urge to, oh, maybe I won't, I've got this today. It's not an every week thing. It's not, but it's going to be more stressful. So I'm just not going to work out today. Think about this. The workout is your weapon against the stress. The good, clean eating, consistent eating is the weapon against poor health and feeling shitty. Use them and don't ever put them down. That's episode 44 of the Snap Podcast. I'll be back next week. Thanks for listening.